Welcome back to West Crown. This is the time of year where the shadows have fully taken over. The sun is available, if at all, if not hidden behind clouds somehow, for 6-7 hours a day. So the people of West Crown are starting their days as early as possible and trying to wring as much time as they can out of the available sunlight. It is mid-December. Kuthona, if I recall correctly, on the Galarian calendar. The month dedicated to Zon Kuthon, the god of darkness and the nether realm. The god, perhaps a patron saint of fetchlings somehow, or at least connected to them in a strange occult manner. But it is late in the day, about maybe 45 minutes an hour before the sun sets, and we see Nikau with his food cart heading back to the Wandering Grove to close up shop for the day. We know Nikau goes to bed early, at least especially on these days. So Nikau, it's much colder than it was when we last saw him at the end of season 1. Has his garb changed at all?
Yeah, his garb would have changed. He'll be wearing probably more robes, heavier robes. I mean, a thick weave with feathers woven into it, because he had his feather and cloth shawl before. He'll probably have something that's a bit thicker with a hood as well. Some boots, some warmer boots and trousers, and probably like a thin shirt underneath another knitted kind of like a vest, I guess.
Does Fugo have an outfit?
Oh, honestly, yeah.
Okay.
I reckon Fuga has a little outfit.
At least a little scarf, perhaps.
Yeah, a little scarf.
Around their non-existent neck.
Well, it's all neck, isn't it, pretty much?
Yes.
Or trunk.
Nikau, how are you doing in the darkest, coldest time of year?
Yeah, so Nikau is someone who is very in tune with the nature's cycles. So this is a part of it, and probably enjoys every cycle of the natural world. So Justin really enjoys each of the seasons as they present themselves. I think probably what he doesn't like so much is the feeling of people probably feel a little bit more scared at this time of year.
This winter has been particularly hard, and it's only just begun. And today is the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice. And you found out today that one of your regulars was lost to the shadow monsters earlier this week. And this isn't the first you've heard of shadow creatures taking people more regularly than they ever have before in the few years you've been here in West Crown.
Yeah.
So yes, people are scared more than they've ever been.
That is tempering his enjoyment of the season a bit more, is that there seems to be more dread about the place, a bit more menace. And he tries to keep people's spirits up, but it's quite pervasive.
You're heading home, probably coming from the Pleat or the Arboretum, somewhere up in the northern end of Rego Crua. You live at the southern end of Rego Scripa, so you've got a good walk ahead of you. You've timed it probably so that you'll get home at dusk, but it's a little
tight.
It's tight. You can feel the pressure. When stumbling across your path, you see Sombra.
Wait, Fugo, is that?
Oh my gosh, Sombra!
That's Sombra? Sombra!
Thud! One of the sides of her arms just goes into a door. And probably hear from the end of the door banging, what the fuck is that?
Sombra, Well, how are you dressed?
Sombra looks face-wise disheveled. Probably doesn't smell too good. Clothing-wise, she probably has a long sleeveless coat on. And this is tied up. Where the sleeves would be, there is a sort of free floating leather sleeve on the top half of her arm. And underneath, you see some ragged knitted cloth, a naked elbow, and then from lower part of her elbow to her wrist, the same thing. So she's essentially covered up, but her important joints seem to be hamper-free.
And how are you dealing with the darkest, coldest time of year?
Every day is the darkest, coldest time of Sombra's year.
Edge.
Are you all right? Sombra, are you okay? It's me. It's Nikau.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm okay. I have something very important, and she holds out a paper package. Hold.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And she just kind of sits in the middle of the road, like on her butt, her knees open, and she just puts her head in between and just takes a couple of deep breaths.
Okay.
You got it? That has to be okay. Pointing at the packet. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Are you gonna be sick?
No.
Do you want me to hold your hair?
No.
I'm just gonna hold it just in case. Just in case.
Nikau,
Fugo says.
Yeah, buddy.
she's kind of acting like some of the leshies after they drink that fermented juice.
Oh, you're right. I'll just lean over and give Sombra a little sniff. Ooh. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, heavy day?
They deserved it.
Alright, okay, let's get you on your feet. You alright?
I am on my feet. She's sitting on the ground.
Yeah, you're close to your feet are close to the ground, but you're not on them. Let's get you up.
Sombra tries to handstand up. Sombra tries to walk on her hands just to make a point.
And I'll give you a bit of space, but I can see that you're struggling, and I'll go into sort of like get under an arm and like sort of hoist you up a bit. Steady on there, steady, Sombra.
You know, one of your berries is probably more than enough.
Oh yeah, I can make you a berry. Yeah. It's...
And then you can go home. You don't have to.
No. I'm gonna. You don't live far from here. Let's get you back to yours.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No. I'm really happy to see you. I haven't seen you in ages.
No one's happy to see me, especially like this.
Hey, I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy.
We're happy. Come on, let's get you home.
Sombra looks over at Fuko, and as jaded as Sombra is, somehow something inside her is like, we cannot be jaded to the innocent, pure baby.
Yeah, they're wearing like a little miniature
scarf.
Doctor Who scarf.
Yeah. Yeah. It's knitted. It goes around about 4 times up their trunk. It's got like 4 or 5 loops.
Then you get first dibs. She points at the paper package in Nico's arms.
Ooh. Can I have a little peek? Or sure. Oh no, we'll wait till we get to your place.
Okay. That's not far. Where's your cart? You had a cart. You usually have a cart, right?
Yeah. I got it.
Give it.
No,
It's a counterbalance.
Oh, okay. In fact, why don't you just sit on the front?
Nope. And Sombra will bullheadedly pull on this cart. And I think it does provide a good counterbalance because she can't wobble as easily.
It's actually a push. So if you come around behind here and give it a push, you can lean on it then.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, lead on. Oh, this is fortuitous. It's not far though, is it?
Not far. It's not far.
Nikau was just about to cross the border into Rego Scripa, which is not far from the Bruised Eel, the dive bar that Yako runs. But luckily, or I don't know, coincidentally, Sombra's flat is not too far from here. She might have even been coming
Above it.
from the Bruised Eel. Just on the other side of the border in Rego Crua, where the rent's a little cheaper at the very least.
Okay, smart.
Sombra, your apartment is right on the water, so I imagine just like these buildings that are literally shoved up to the edge of the river Adivian as much as possible.
Yes.
What else can you describe about this area?
Just like you said, it is right on the edge. There's probably a lot of diagonal planks supposedly reinforcing the building because any sort of wear and tear means the land underneath the building might go. This particular building probably looks very unassuming. There's probably irregular cracked brick facade, but Nikau probably will appreciate even in the winter there is very threadbare ivy growing up parts of it, and it's one of the cheaper apartments. It's fairly close to Rego Scripa, but it is in the Crua, and I think Sombra will probably live on the second or third floor. And I think it's one of those apartments where there's like no more than 2 units a floor.
I'll leave my card at the bottom here, and
leave your card at the bottom.
Yeah. I'm just gonna grab a few bits and pieces. Have you eaten? Because I might.
She points at the paper package.
Oh.
That.
Okay. I'm gonna fill up my kind of like little bags with some bits and pieces anyway. Come on, let's get you up. This is nice. I like this.
Yeah, it used to be nicer. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. It's fine. Come on, let's get you upstairs. Sort you out.
Hobble upstairs. And the front door probably looks like a little bit of a mess. I would even gather to say it almost looks like there's a wooden board nailed over it, but it's purely cosmetic. Like you can just pull on it and the whole thing comes together with the door. So if you didn't know better, it was just a boarded up door. But very little effort has been made about it. And she pulls it open. And inside Sombra's apartment, which is currently dark at the moment, well, if she pulls on a lantern or two, it's dusty. There's a lot of covered furniture, but otherwise you see in what looks like a very roomy studio, a double bed, a nice, like 2 matching but really torn and ragged, threadbare individual cedars, a little table, like 3 chairs. The chairs are pretty low. The table is fairly low. A kitchenette, again, fairly low. Nikau would see a lot of empty and dead planters all piled up by the window.
Oh no. Hey, do you live here on your own?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm wandering around respectfully and just sort of like having a little look into the planters to see if there were any plants in there at all.
There is dried, petrified dirt in there.
Okay. Big sigh as I go around looking at those. Hey, can I have a peek in this bag you've given?
Yeah,
offered?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll open it up and have me and Fugo will both like peer over and have a look inside.
If you open the paper package, by now it's actually gotten a bit greasy, and inside you see, I would say, like 4 or 5 triangle flaky pastries. And they're sort of warm and buttery, and they're about the size of 2 hands.
Wow, what are these? They look like cakes.
They're dinner. There, you can have. There's spinach and cheese in them.
Ooh, spinach and cheese. Oh, delicious, delicious. Have you got any
Yeah,
plates? You sit down. You sit down. Let me sort this out. Fugo. And Fugo hops off. Come on, help me serve these up. These look delicious. And Fugo hops down and goes across to the kitchenette, and from the 4 layers of scarves, 2 arms pop out and opens a cupboard.
I'm seeing things.
Gets the plates out, and Nikau is getting the pastries out of the bag, chops them into halves, arranges them on the plates, reaches into his sack, into his his satchel, and gets out some herbs and berries and leaves and makes a little salad to go beside them.
You didn't have to. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I wanted to. Nutrition, right? And then sits you down, gets you some water. You must have some water in there.
Yeah.
Nice to. Come on, let's get some good food in you. These smell delicious.
Sombra just kind of has her head hanging down, looking at the platter you made. I'm going to, and Sombra looks down and sees that you've pulled the nice plates. You see, like, this very un-Sombra sort of plate, like this sort of cream white plate, uneven chips on all sides, but have these, like, jolly little paintbrush strokes of flowers, purple and blue flowers with the glaze over. And they were probably dusty. Sombra looks at the plate for a hot minute.
They hold any significance to you, these plates?
I haven't used them in a while.
I'm sorry, didn't know they were special.
No, they're plates. You should eat them, right? Eat before it gets cold. They're nice warm.
Okay, I will start eating it, but just be sort of like looking at you carefully and seeing what kind of state you're in.
I think Sombra's just in a sad state and is concentrating on the food and just looking wide at the... Well, hard to say what she's looking at because she doesn't have pupils. Looking at the plate. Glancing up at people at her table.
It's nice to see you, Sombra. Do you wanna talk about stuff? What's happened today or anything?
I went out for dinner. And this asshole was being an asshole to a group of people. Didn't listen to no. I introduced them to a stronger no. And they were very nice and they paid for a couple of drinks. And it got too nice and I had to get out of there.
Too nice? What does that mean? You enjoyed it too much?
They were just very happy and nice, and they had good things going for them. So I gotta get out before it gets fucked up, right?
I don't think so. I don't think you have to do that every time.
How are you doing? If you go, how are you doing?
Yeah, well, we've been working a lot in the Arboretum lately. A lot of things are happening there, and
They like wave their mushroom hands.
I've been helping a lot at the cart and with construction stuff. I mean, I can carry a couple nails.
That's really cool. Are they doing okay? No, she didn't come back.
I wanted to talk to you about that as well. If that's okay. You're right in front of me. It seems silly not to talk about her at some point. If that's okay. Is that okay?
That's okay.
I know it's a sensitive topic.
No. It's the least I can do.
Yeah. But yeah, Fugo, show some of your arms. You were working out a bit.
Arms, buddy.
Fugo goes to like a matchbook set on the table and pulls out a match and lights it and like lights a candle with it. Maybe just a little stub that's there.
Maybe Sombra, do you have any more candles? Because it gets pretty dark, and, well, I can't see at night.
Yeah, I got one moment. And she gets up. Again, these are low chairs. And goes to the nightstand next to the bed and blows, and you see like this small little cloud of dust. And she grabs a couple of very old candles, very old candle holders, and she brings them all to the middle of the dining room table. I normally don't need too much, but show me what you got. And she lays them all out for Fugo.
So he takes the match and goes one by one to each candle and lights it very proudly.
Really good. Good for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I've been down at the Arboretum quite a lot because from that time when Sister Gia was there, I was talking with Viddy, and it didn't sound coincidental that she was just there. She was planning on indoctrinating the Leshies into the Asmodean faith, and from your responses to that, it just sounded all wrong. It felt so wrong. She wasn't there. She's not there to nurture them or to help them survive in the city. She seems to be there to try and claim them and manipulate them.
In a weird, fucked up way, that's their way of showing nurture. But you have to be chosen.
So, I have been spending a lot of time there. In fact, most of my days. In fact, sometimes I even sleep there. I mean, Viddy stays there a lot, and we're close, so it makes sense. And even though I don't outrightly oppose, because the state's sanctioned, right? You can't just go and
They're state enforced as much as they want to say.
Well, yeah. I do my bit to. Well, I like to interrupt whenever they're around. I tend to do something a little bit disruptive. It's mostly harmless, but I'm quite good with the Leshy. We get on really well, and I know what they like. So whenever one of the sisters is coming down there to preach at them, I'll be doing something that the Leshies will prefer to do. Like I'll help them grow some gardens, or do something that they're into. It's not overtly opposing what they're doing, but it's super disruptive. And
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's different from how I would have handled it, but that's no surprise to you either.
Nikau, Fugo speaks to you in Wild Song. They say something to you in Wild Song, which is the language of druids. What does that language even sound like?
It would sound like a mixture of insect chirping, bird song, and probably, I don't know, what, wind rustling, that kind of thing.
Yeah, cool. So Fugo speaks to you in Wild Song and says,
Should we tell her about Bellaby, the poppy Leshy that's joined the sisters?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Sombra raises an eyebrow at a speech she does not recognize.
Yeah, you're right. And I lean over and put a sort of a gentle hand on Fugo and nod and reply back in Wild Song. Yeah, no, we'll definitely tell her. And I look over at Sombra, who's like never heard this. We may not have heard this language before. So yeah, Fugo makes a good point. One of the Leshies has actually joined the Sisterhood.
Sisterhood?
Yeah.
Joined, not taken?
Well, I wasn't really close with Bellaby. She she is a poppy Leshy, beautiful red petals. But she was always kind of standoffish and always acted like...
Because of the fact that she was one of the only sort of flower Leshies around, that she was more beautiful and that... Well, anyway, she wasn't very nice. But Sister Gia has been coming regularly, and, well, they made a friendship, I guess. And so, I'm sorry, Sombra. I should have tried harder.
Don't apologize if you...
No, Fugo, we were there the whole time, and you can't change. Some people's minds are made up.
She's not the only one. There are a few others who have started really studying Asmodeus and going to the temple, and well, Vivi and I are really trying to help with teaching Erastiel and stuff, but and a lot of the Leshies really like Erastiel. It's the wild stag man that walks the woods. The stories are really cool, but yeah, some people are drawn to power, I guess.
That's... Listen. Gia Asmodeans, typically, are all about conveniently twisting things or making the alternative so unviable that you have no choice but to join them. Most of the time, that's how they work. But there are people drawn to that, and, well, they're going to be drawn to it. And if I cross paths with those people after the fact, well, I'm not going to be really friendly with them.
I mean, yeah, I can totally see that. Gia and a couple of the other sisters, well, they helped sort of punish some goblins that were acting right mess. And, well, now the goblins have been a lot nicer since, well, more scared and intimidated, really. But it's been sort of helpful, but not in a way that feels nice.
Yeah, that's not a nice way to deal with it. We could have had some help from Flint. They could have come up and helped if we'd asked them, but we didn't get a chance to.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have dropped that. Gia and I, we were taken into the Sisterhood of Izeth. Many years ago, it was standard operation for groups like this to scout for, and Sombra does these really ironic, try air quotes, talent, potential, and take them, mold them, again, the dry sarcastic air quotes, nurture them, and raise them to be perfect, unquestioning soldiers. Instill loyalty, instill family. People like Gia and I were taken as children, never to be reunited with our families, trained to forget anything we knew about them. And as children, we were raised to be soldiers. We were trained in martial arts, in the Asmodean religion. We were told awful things about anyone who weren't believers. And we didn't know any better. We were told everything was scary, terrifying, that this order would be the end of the plains. That only through structure, only through rigorous order, only through loyalty, only through facts that you can see on a paper, only through tightly knitted words with no sway could you see a future. And when you don't have a future, that sounds very reassuring. And that was going to be my future. That is Gia's present.
Well, what happened between you and Gia? How did you not end up like her? Why aren't you still there? Something must have happened.
It happened. Gia and I never really got along. She was goody two-shoes teacher's pet. I didn't do the homework and still got high marks.
Oh, yeah, I know people like that.
Yeah, and I didn't sit with her well.
But you were the same age? You were in the same
Yeah.
class?
Yep.
Just
We were bunk mates.
You were never close? Were you always rivals?
Personality like Gia's and personality like mine. We were either going to hate each other's guts or we're going to be like passionate lovers. I don't know, you know the tropes. Sombra opens her her jacket now that I assume it's been warming up in here with all the candles especially. And she's wearing a familiar like red and yellow sash around her waist. And she gently undoes the sash and she unfolds it. And inside is like this very worn piece of paper. And she unfolds it over the table. And out comes a pressed flower, whose color is very faded. Have you heard of the bellflowers, Nikau?
I don't think so, no.
So, in West Crown, for many years, only up till fairly recently, everyone working had a contractual place that they were bound to. Yeah, they got paid and they got taken care of, but if you were this sort of person, then you had to work in kitchen professions. If you were this other sort of person, you had to work in agriculture. If you were this sort of person, you had to work as woodcutters. And it was really ordered, and there was no flexibility beyond that. And certain professions got treated worse than others. And you couldn't escape until you did your X amount of years, otherwise everything got taken from you.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yes, Modians would say, we provided you with a house, but now we're going to take your house and everything else you own because you dared not perform to our standards.
What if you were allergic to, like, kitchen suds?
They didn't care.
Oh.
But it got, for generations, it got violent, targeted. It was bad. For the halflings, in West Crown especially, it's been pretty bad. And for many years, they've been trying to get their own out of West Crown, of Cheliax. The Bellflower Network is a group dedicated to smuggling them out.
Okay.
An individual or a family wants to make a note that they no longer want to be here. They're willing to resettle. They're willing to be snuck out. And someone comes along, whispers of someone else. We don't know the leader. We don't know beyond a couple of degrees. It's kind of like this on purpose. And they go out and they spring a halfling, safe house to safe house, past the borders. Most of the time they're lucky. When they're not lucky, it's egregiously bad. Hell night bad.
So what? This is this like your job? This is what you do?
Near us, apparently, was a family of halflings. And back then, a group of Bellflower operatives came in to spring them. But details aside, I snuck off my lesson. I got bored. I hopped the fence. I wanted to play. I didn't want to listen to any more doctrine for that day. Usual. And I got caught in the springing of that family. And a decision was made. Let me go and ruin the whole operation, or take me with them. So I was kidnapped again.
So this was against your will? You wouldn't have known what was going on, right?
No,
And
there were a lot of them.
They grabbed you? They took you?
Yeah, it was that or the family they were going to spring would have gotten caught.
Yeah.
And the consequences would have been far worse than me skipping out my class, you know?
Right.
That wasn't fun, but I understand why they did it.
They obviously didn't kill you. They could have killed you, right?
There was...
Was that not that they wouldn't have been their way if they're saving people, maybe?
They had a good fight about it. There was a couple that really advocated for me, and I didn't make things easy. Hi, I'm Sombra. One of them, and she was also a child. Going along with them, that's really reckless. But she had a way with words. And for knowing me for all of 15 minutes and having dodged me trying to bite her, said, "This one deserves springing too. And at least all of these other halflings are running away and they're creating families. If and when someone like me ever gets sprung, we have nowhere to go to." So they kept me around. They couldn't let me go. They answered my questions. I argued with them a lot. I tried to logic my way out because that's what we're taught to do. Try to legal my way out.
Where do they take you?
Another safe house. Safe house to safe house.
And so, at what point did you think the lessons until now were not the truth? That must have been difficult.
Because they kept saying, they kept admitting when they didn't know. They kept admitting that they could be wrong. They didn't threaten to withhold food from me no matter what my behavior was. Something the sisters didn't exactly do either.
So it was just small acts of kindness and truthfulness and honesty over time?
Yeah.
So good people.
I got lucky, especially with her speaking up for me.
What was her name?
Drita.
Drita. Oh, and do you still keep in touch with her?
I married her.
Oh, wait. Hold
Yeah.
on. You mentioned something before to me.
This is where we lived. And maybe now the low chairs, the low table, the dusty, untouched bed,
the plates,
the cute plates, the piles of empty, soil-heavy pots.
Oh, Sombra. I'm so sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about.
Well, that may be so, but my heart is still heavy for you.
We kept working. Eventually, I joined actively. And she and I and other halflings kept springing halflings. We kept finding crops, leading them to farms. And just a few years ago, right about the time all those big declarations were made by House Throne, I got reckless. Something went wrong. And our crop, the people we were smuggling, were about to get caught. Drita being goddamn Drita, being this goddamn brave, intelligent, thinking, kind, but goddamn reckless person, created diversion enough to get the crop out of the way, but that meant we run into Hell Knights. And that was the last I saw her.
Oh my god. Nikau's kind of like got Fugo on his knee and with an arm around him and sort of like tightly clutching a cup of water in the other hand, and his eyes are wide, tear streaked as you're telling him the story. No. I'm so sorry, Sombra. Did you get any information? Did you find out what happened to her?
A while to get up on my feet after that happened. So any leads have gone cold. I take jobs every now and then in the area. If there's any sort of quick reconnaissance jobs that require understanding things in those directions, I try to take them. But sometimes I don't. Because sometimes I think if I had the chance, I'll just run in without a plan. For the sake of doing it, you know? But that's not what she wants.
Well, what do you want?
Queen Abigail's head on this plate, I'm gonna kick Asmodeus in the nuts. I want a city that doesn't treat people the way they've treated halflings. And God knows if there's any other network taking anyone else out. There has to be. As much as I say I want those things, I haven't done things really to further that goal. I'm not someone to lead. I'm not a hero. I can't make any changes. I'm too angry. I'm too reckless. I'm too willful.
Oh, yeah, you are those things, Sombra, absolutely, but you're still a hero. You're heroic.
Fugo's nodding their mushroom cap head.
I'm a liability. That's what I am.
You're not. Not at all. From what you told me today, right now, there's vulnerability there, and that makes you even more special. In my eyes, anyway.
Yet you're the one pointing her finger at you. Actually going out and making community. Yet you're the one going around and looking after those who are vulnerable. Yet you're the one literally providing nourishment. Food-wise, spiritual-wise. And yet, you were alongside, for whatever reason, I don't know, all of us doing what the heck we did earlier in the year.
Yeah, those things are my wheelhouse. That's what I do.
Is it? Go and fight and.
Well,
I think you're so good at those other things. You're actually really good at taking down bastards.
I know that sometimes the fight needs to be taken to stop evil, to stop the bad things to happen, to protect who you love. And I might be doing that now just to make up for some things I couldn't do where I came from.
Is that why you're in West Crown?
Yeah, and many other places between West Crown and where I'm from. I've moved about. But I can, here now in West Crown, I can really look after something and make sure it thrives, which is what I'm trying to do.
You're succeeding. It's hard to go up against a whole institution, but you have things. You have a future. You have people who rely on you, who need you.
Yeah, I might. Well, I do now. At this moment, I do. But I just want to make sure that the Leshies, they get a fair crack at a life in the city without being manipulated. I don't want to see that happen. And it would be nice, maybe a bit selfish, because it's sort of helping me find closure for something else. But if me being selfish is helping a whole community, then I guess that's a small flaw. But yeah.
I am the last person to give advice on whether selfishness is a good or bad thing.
I'm trying to build community and I feed people and nourish them, but like I said, there's also times where we need to stand up, and that's what you're so good at. I'd like to think we're working towards the same thing, just in different ways.
I don't know what I'm working for. I'm just angry.
Well, I'd like to keep seeing you and hanging out, and maybe we could both get what we want. We can both help people, help the halflings, help the Leshy, keep the sisterhood back.
I'd like that.
I need to ask you about Sister Gia as well.
Yeah.
Because you there's rage there. What would you want to see happen to her? Is it something specific against her, or is it what she stands for?
It's really fucking immature and irresponsible for me to say I wish she got sprung or I wish she got to be a different person when I didn't do shit to go back and help her. I was on my own journey. Maybe I'm angry at her because I'm angry at myself.
Do you think she would have changed if she was sprung?
I'm surprised I changed. Sombra sort of shrugs her shoulders again, saying, like, look at me.
Nikau smiles and goes, even plants that are not nurtured, that wither, and look like they're dead, just need a little bit of care.
Sombra kind of shakes her head and gives like this sarcastic smile looking at the empty, petrified pots.
Well, not these plants, but you get the idea.
We could plant new seeds in these plants, if you want. I'd happily come over and help tend to some of these, if you wanted.
Hold on. And Sombra gets up and goes back to that nightstand next to the perfectly folded, dusty bed. And opens one of the drawers and it creaks. This drawer has not been opened in a long time. And you hear like papers shuffling. You hear like other things clunking around. And eventually she pulls out a flat piece of paper and it's folded over. And she squats down, sort of takes a peek into it. You see her nod her head. And she turns around and comes back to the table. And she puts down this folded envelope of paper and unfolds it. And inside you see just this huge assortment of seeds with little white dried fluffs on them. You see round balls. You see skinny little sliver like needles.
Ooh,
You
this
see
is
little
exciting.
curled beans.
What are these?
Dritas.
Oh,
That was supposed to be our last job. I didn't want to do it anymore. It was too dangerous. We were going to buy a farm. This was the compromise, okay? She always fucking won. We're gonna start a way house, a bed and breakfast. And she was gonna plant all these flowers. And if a bumper crop came in, we would have had a couple of empty sheds or basements to load in crops until they could be delivered elsewhere. It was going to be out of this city, close to out of Cheliax. We were saving up money for that. We were no longer going to be in the middle of all of this. She said she was going to plant everything.
she sounds amazing.
She was amazing. You would have really liked her. You and Sekun would have really liked her.
Well, she might not be here, but she'd probably still want you to follow that dream.
It's dead.
Nope.
I'm not opening a farm, Nikau. I'm not going to be a happy host making pancakes.
Okay. What are you going to do with these seeds?
I was going to let them rot in that drawer.
No. Don't be ridiculous. Do you mind? Can I...
You have something to look forward to.
You say that.
You have inviting. Sombra's trying to look for terminology. Looks at Fuho. Mulch. Raise eyebrow. You have the means to actually nurture something and make it grow. You have a future to tend for.
I don't want you to not have a future or something to care about. These seeds, they represent a really bright time in your life. So let me help you with these. Okay? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna, if you'd like to, I'd like to plant them somewhere special in the Arboretum. And that means that we have to go there and look after them. And that means we have to protect it.
Fuck, I guess we do.
Yeah. We can do that together. And I want to judge it, but I want to sort of give you a big hug. Nikau comes in for a big hug.
Sombra looks awkward, but does not shrink. And her arms might not go around, but she just kind of leans her head inward. So she's receiving it, but she's just like kind of...
Yeah. And you'll be holding the packet of seeds, and I'll give you a hug, and those seeds are sort of like squashed in there. And I'm just going to hold it.
As we zoom out of this scene, a spot of candlelight in the darkness that has taken hold of Westground tonight. We can hear the roars of shadow creatures running rampant across the city, and families huddle in their homes, praying at the dawn.
Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play of the Council of Thieves adventure path, converted from Pathfinder 1st Edition. Tumble Through uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc. used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about paizo.com and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.